Hi, this is Michelangelo Badio, and I'm feeling extremely sad and just overwhelmed because I just found out that one of the greatest guitarists that has ever lived, Edward Van Halen, passed away today. And I want to just share a few thoughts about Eddie. I met him. I talked with him one-on-one for over a half an hour some years ago at a concert, a benefit for Jason Becker. But I want to start at the beginning because for some of the younger guitar players out there that know of Van Halen but don't really understand the impact he had, not since Jimi Hendrix had guitar been turned upside down and thought of in a new way. I remember listening to the first Van Halen album saying, what is going on here? It was, you almost couldn't comprehend it because he had this great technique, but he sounded like no one I had ever heard. He changed literally the way people perceive the guitar, and his music, his performance, the image, but just the way his guitar looked, everything about him was original and unique. And when he started doing tapping, that's the first time I'd really ever heard that on a guitar. Now, I know that, from videos that there were other guitar players many years ago that did that, but no one did it like Van Halen. And yes, Randy Rhoads was a contemporary, but I never considered Rhoads a tapper like I did Van Halen because Van Halen's sound was so original. And when I heard that, and I realized, and everybody started figuring out what he was doing, I refused to tap for years because I felt that if I was tapping, I was copying Edward Van Halen. So that's just a little bit of the MAB, the Mikey mindset. But let's fast forward a few years, and I got an opportunity in the Chicago area, my hometown, to do a Jason Becker benefit. Now, it started locally, but then all of a sudden people like Zakk Wylde, Steve Lukather, Billy Sheehan signed on, and then the floodgates opened up. Eddie Van Halen signed on to be part of the tribute. And so when we did this concert, it was absolutely amazing. People like Greg Howe were there, Vinnie Moore, friends of mine. And then I jammed with a band with a great friend of mine from Chicago, a great guitarist named Dave Urich. So I played with his band at this concert. And I remember after the show, I was backstage and Eddie came up to me. He's like, Mike, you're a great guitarist. And so I just started walking with him. He's kind of motioned me to walk. And we sat down by the soundboard. Now picture you're on stage. Now, stage left from a performer's perspective is audience right. So we were on stage right. That's where the monitor board was. And it was like a room where the person that did monitors, he had a big soundboard there, not house, the monitors. And we sat there and just talked. But what I should say is he did most of the talking. I was like, I'm talking to Edward Van Halen. Oh my God. And then Joey was, I can't even say nothing. And so I was just sitting there listening to him, and he's talking about Sammy Hagar and about, and it's not that he said derogatory things. He didn't. He was just talking to me like we were old friends. I'd never even heard him speak before, and I'm listening to him, and I'm just nodding my head in agreement. But he's talking about how the transition with David Lee Roth and how Sammy got brought up to the level of Van Halen, and now I thought Sammy was a big star to begin with, Sammy Hagar, but he was saying that how the music changed, and it was really an incredible conversation. And I listened to him, and he goes, Mike, he goes, I think you're really great. And then a woman came in, one of the people that worked for him. She's like, Edward, we have to leave now. And so we both get up, and he gives me a hug and kisses me on the cheek. And I'm like, if it was anybody but Van Halen. And then what I realized is that obviously was a sign of affection from him, but he did that to artists that he cared about. I've seen this in other videos where he gave Les Paul a kiss. And I just want to say this, that he has had a huge influence on my life. I realized very early on, I'm not the type of player that plays like him. I'm just not. I'm different, but I loved what he did. I'm a huge Van Halen fan, and I was a fan of him as a person. And I've met Wolf before. We know each other, his son, through Mark Tremonti from Creed and Alter Bridge, and Mark's solo band, which Wolf played in. So I've met Wolf several times, and I just want to say that this is a person who has affected the planet. His music, for all guitar players everywhere, we owe him a debt of gratitude. And it's just something very personal for me. Now, I remember when John Lennon died, it hit me really hard. And this is the type of feeling I get with hearing about Edward Van Halen. He's just been a part of my life for so long, and a part of everybody's life. The music, the playing. There's hardly a day that goes by. I did a Van Halen tribute that's out there. People are always commenting on it, and I've just thought so much of the music, the guitar playing, and the person that it's really shook me up. But all I can say is thank you, Eddie, for the music and for everything else. God bless. Rest in peace.